Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted attraction and haunt entertainment community. Whether you're an actor or owner or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we return once again with what, I have no doubt, will be a doozy of a podcast.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting. I'm very curious to see the feedback on this one. I think a lot of people are going to have a lot to say as this seems to be a hot topic in every haunter group or forum or subreddit or whatever we run across.
Right.
And we're talking about haunt directories.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to giving us that feedback, the best way to do so is going to be at HauntWeekly.com. That is our website. We're also Haunt Weekly on Twitter and Haunt Weekly on Facebook. And tinyurl.com/HauntWeekly will take you to our YouTube channel, where all of the previous episodes are for your easy listening pleasure.
Yes.
Should be very nice.
So please help us continue the conversation there. And also, if we leave any directories out that you know of and you want us to take a look at, please feel free to send them.
Yeah, this isn't, when we get down to the actual directories, this is not meant to be like the complete ultimate directory list.
No, it's just the first ones that showed up.
And it's the national ones. We're not doing any regional ones for reasons we'll discuss a little bit later. So, yes. But first thing is first, we do have conference reminders. It is an oddball. You are the oddball, so you kick us off.
All right. July 27th through the 29th. It is Room Escape Conference and Tour in Nashville, Tennessee at the Music City Center. Touring up to 8 different escape games, 2 tours of 4. Includes Extreme Escape Games, Live Minds Adventure Escape, Escape Point, and Locked Murfreesboro. RoomEscapeShow.com for more.
All right. After that, July 28th and the 29th in Long Beach, California, the Long Beach Convention Center. It's Midsummer Scream, featuring dozens of on-site haunted attractions and experience, including the largest Hall of Shadows in their history. Also has a Screaming Room Film Festival. MidsummerScream.org for more details.
Then the day after, July 30th, it's Seasonal Attraction Leadership Symposium 2018 in Long Beach, California at the Queen Mary Hotel. It's put on by the Haunted Attractions Network, aka...
So we'll be discussing in a minute.
aka Gantum Media. 6 keynotes with following discussions. Theme of this year is First Impressions. HauntedAttractionNetwork.com for more info.
By the by, if you happen to know the speakers for this, please leave us a comment somewhere. Let us know.
Yeah.
It's basically, I'm going by their Facebook page, and they do not seem to have posted the name of the speakers or their talks.
Or we haven't been able to find them easily.
Yeah, we just haven't been able to find them. Usually this stuff's like front and center, man. It's no problem. But this time around, it's been a little frustrating. So let us know if you know something we don't, please.
Exactly.
All right, after that, August 5th and 6th in Los Angeles, California, it's Scare LA at the Los Angeles Convention Center West Hall, featuring Scarywood, a 60,000 square foot haunt made up of many haunted houses. Oh my God. Oh, man. Also features Float, an It-themed cinematic VR experience, a film festival, and a costume ball. ScareLA.com for more.
All right. August 16th through the 19th, Halloween and Haunt Fest in Mesquite, Texas, near Dallas. It'll be at the Mesquite Convention Center. Features a Haunters Mixer and Zombie Paintball, a costume ball, and a movie night, and touring the Monsters Mansion.
Yes.
Still not in the notes. Additional info is to be announced. HalloweenandHaunt.com.
All right, I'll put it in the notes. I get it. I'll do that in a minute. All right. I forgot I'm on the crappy keyboard. All right. After that, August 18th in Jackson, New Jersey is Haunters Barbecue, hosted by the Jersey Devil Haunted Experience. Tickets are just $15 if you buy in advance. JerseyDevilHalloween.com for more details and information. Go hang out with your fellow haunters, share stories, eat barbecue, and buy beverages, both alcoholic and non. It'll be a great time.
Sounds like fun.
Yes.
All right, August 24th through the 26th, it's Mask Fest in Indianapolis, Indiana, at the JW Marriott, Indianapolis. It features mask makers and makeup artists of all types, including Tom Savini, and maskfest.com for more info on that.
All right, September 14th and 16th in Lexington, Kentucky. It's Scarefest, the rebirth of Scarefest, technically. It'll feature guests include Cassandra Peters, a.k.a. Elvira, Joe Bob Briggs, who have Monster Vision fame, and Sid Haig, a.k.a. Captain Spaulding. TheScarefest.com for more. And by the way, I've got to say this, on Cinemassacre's YouTube channel, it's the Angry Video Game Nerd, is what he's best known for. He has a half-hour interview with Joe Bob Briggs, plus a Q&A, a Twitter Q&A with him, and a separate video. Guy gives a great interview. Yeah. And tells some wonderful stories. I mean, he talked greatly about Monster Vision and how it happened. It's such a good time. I'm not going to spoil all of it, but just, it's worth the 30 minutes. Believe me.
Cool.
If you get the chance. All right. So, this week we're talking about Haunt Directories.
Right.
And right off the bat, I want to say that I know this is one of these stepping in it episodes. Because I know this is one of those things that incites a lot of anger from Haunt owners and also from the owners of many of these directories.
Yeah.
So we're going to, try to talk about this objectively as we can. But basically, our industry has a problem.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty significant one. There is no directory that is all three things. We found one I think is kind of close. We'll get to in a minute, but not all three things. One that is complete, as in has a reasonably complete and up-to-date directory of haunted attractions.
Right.
2 is easy to use. And 3 is ethical in the way it operates.
Yeah.
And the third one is the one that aggravates a lot of people.
It does.
Because, and the thing about it is this, it may be completely impossible to create a big national directory that is all these things. And we'll get to why that is in the end. But still, this is something that our industry really needs. People travel during haunt season between mid-September through mid-November. People go on trips. We, not that long ago, a couple of years ago, kind of took a semi-surprise trip to see Ellie's son in Belleville, Illinois.
Right.
And you damn right we're hanging out in St. Louis. Of course, we went to the Darkness, we went to Linton Brewery. We knew, some of the haunts we had to go to, but we went hunting for more haunted attractions.
Right.
And that turned out to be easier said than done.
It did, especially in that area.
Yeah.
Searching for that locale was not easy.
Yeah, that southwest Illinois it is, I think. And I'm there doing the nobody eats shredded wheat in my head. Because I'm that lame. I'm back in 3rd grade. I still sing my ABCs too. But regardless.
I was always taught sour watermelons, but okay.
Oh, God. Yeah, I was taught nobody eats shredded wheat, northeast, southwest, going around clockwise. Anyway. The sour watermelons works, I guess. Nobody eats sour watermelons, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, the point is, why did you learn sour watermelons versus shredded wheat? I'm sorry. That is such a weird... Of course nobody...
Well, some people eat shredded wheat. They still sell enough to make it.
Apparently. Anyways.
You don't eat sour watermelons because it's bad.
Anyway, but we had a tough time finding haunts. And again, when we took the Atlanta trip last year, one of the first things we wanted to do was, of course, plan the trip. And that required some extreme logistics.
Yeah.
Largely because we had to get all the information from a variety of different sites and sources and then pull them into a spreadsheet that we could then actually plan our trip.
Yep.
And then it got involved about maps with overlay. It got really involved.
Yeah, if you still have that, you should share it.
I still have the actual map saved. Yeah. I know I have that.
Because it was pretty insane. You did a great job with that.
Because what we had to do was map which haunts we wanted to go to, what days they were open, what times they were open, and then map them geographically so we could figure out which 3 we could reasonably hit, like Friday night, which 4 we could hit Saturday night, and so on.
Yeah.
It was a mess. And it would have been a lot easier if we'd had a consolidated source of information.
Right.
We didn't. So yeah. There's also the issue of new haunts opening up.
Yes.
And a really good directory could be a way of leveling the playing field a little bit. They might not have a huge promotion budget. They can help get the word out and get at least some attention from haunt fans through a directory.
Yeah. We've already heard rumors that there are going to be several small haunts popping up this year in New Orleans. Not enthusiastic.
Optimistic or...
Yeah. Okay, enthusiastic was the wrong word. Optimistic is the right word.
Yeah, I think enthusiastic was okay. I don't think you were too far off.
No, I do want to go to as many as possible, as always, but I'm not optimistic of their quality.
And by the way, one of the reasons we're hopefully doing the Lost Souls bus tour in Chicago is to avoid that kind of planning.
Yeah.
Japes can do the planning for us.
Yes, exactly.
We'll pay him to do the planning on our behalf. We trust him to do it very well.
Yes.
Okay. Google also isn't very useful in finding haunted attractions.
No.
Learned this the hard way trying to plan the Atlanta trip. Mm-hmm. It got real messy.
Yeah.
Trying to use Google because you do haunted house, you do haunted attraction, and you do the area. But if you say like haunted house Atlanta or haunted attraction Atlanta, pretty much jack all comes up because within the Atlanta city limits, there's fuck all. There's pretty much nothing there.
Yeah.
There might be one or two smaller ones, but as far as like the big haunts like Netherworld and so forth, they're all in the ring around the city.
Right, and Netherworld came up, but that was pretty much it.
Yeah, and that was it. But it's like, I don't know the name of every town on the outskirts of Atlanta.
No.
My geography class didn't go that deep, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can be a little hard to Google this type of stuff. And also, people only go to haunts once per year, typically. One season per year. There are very few year-round haunts.
Right.
And so it's easy to forget what is there, what is available.
It is. And I know that haunts are getting into the habit of opening for other holidays, which is good to keep, your business in the public's eye. But we're not there yet.
But yeah. So yeah, what we're going to do in a little bit is we're going to talk about the major, quote-unquote, haunt directories we found. And some of this was called from a list from our haunted attractions on Reddit. Some of this was sites we know of and found. And some of it was just stuff I tripped across doing research.
Yeah.
So, it's a mishmash of stuff, basically.
Right. And there were some that I thought I remembered, and I can't find them anymore. So apparently
maybe they're
dead.
not there. Maybe you remembered wrong. Who knows?
They're probably dead now.
Oh, God. It's dead now. I just love the way you say that so upbeat. It's dead now.
Exactly.
All right. But there is a general pattern of complaints with these sites, and we're going to focus in on more as we go. But the biggest complaint I hear from haunted attraction owners is that these sites tend to be pay to play.
Yeah.
Nearly every, in fact, I think every site I looked at offered some means of doing a free, as in no money exchanging hands, listing, but they almost always try to push you into some kind of premium or listing of some stripe.
Right.
And some will even offer awards like Top Haunt or Best Haunt if you pay that premium.
Yeah.
Like you open up Haunts for Louisiana, which is where we're going to be talking about a lot in just a minute because we know Louisiana haunts.
Yes.
I hope by now we know at least the majority.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we know all, especially this season with all the wackadoodleness going on.
Right.
There's a lot going on. But I hope that we know most.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, what happens a lot of times, so you open up the link to like Louisiana and be like, the best haunts are, and it's these two haunts that are, they're fine or whatever, but they're not, the big dogs, so to speak. They're not the ones that everyone knows.
Right.
And they just simply paid to be called the best ones and get the little images of themselves and be put at the top of the list.
Yeah.
And that, I don't think that's right.
No.
And that's because it's not separating the advertising from the editorial content.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very important thing. And this is something that as a journalism major, someone who comes from a journalism background, I emphasize very heavily because there should be a firewall between the advertising and the news content, just like there should be a firewall between the editorial and the news content. Mm-hmm. You should separate out the information and the ads to make it clear what is what. And a lot of these sites deliberately blur the lines. Yeah. Or at least seemingly deliberately. Maybe they don't. I don't want to suppose their intentions. But some of them sure as hell seem to do it intentionally. Another issue is spam. Mm-hmm. At least one of the major ones requires a prominent link back on your homepage.
Yeah.
Guys, this is search engine spam. I'm going to be blunt about it. It's spam. it is something that can actually hurt you with Google. When Google sees you doing this, they may decide to demote your site in any searches for your name.
Yeah.
This can actually cause you to lose traffic to your site rather than gain it.
Yeah. And we've actually seen this happen with clients in your day job.
Yeah, exactly.
Who we've helped clean up all of these links to their articles and things.
Yeah. Who were doing that similar type of marketing.
Exactly.
It really can hurt your site, and it can be very difficult to dig yourself out of that hole. As hard as promotion is online, as hard as SEO is, it is much easier than trying to dig yourself out of a really deep hole.
It is. Yeah.
And this can help. Now, I'm not going to say like one link will do it. That's not usually how it works. But yeah, if you do it for a bunch of directories, you're going to get tagged. You're going to get canned.
No.
And you're going to wind up losing out on traffic you would have gotten otherwise. It can also take visitors off your site, obviously. People will go to it. And it will just clutter up and, your site as well is another issue. Usually, haunted attraction websites are not usually designed with banner ads in mind.
No.
And so sticking banner ads any old place usually looks ugly as hell.
Yeah.
We have enough of a problem with ugly websites in this industry. We don't need to compound the issue. That's what I'm saying. We can do that on our own. Thank you. We're very good at this. And the other issue is just the lack of maintenance and completeness. These sites do not seem to get a lot of love. A couple of these I looked at did not appear to have had any significant updates other than automated ones or user-provided ones for many, many years.
Yeah.
They're still kicking out there. They have outdated information. Only one or two. There was a couple that didn't list it, and I don't know if that's out of lack of completeness or just because they were smart and removed it. But it's only a couple knew that House of Shock. Only one actually had changed the name of House of Shock correctly.
Okay.
And I think two others did not have it listed.
Right.
But everyone else simply listed House of Shock as a New Orleans website. It was probably the most commonly listed haunt we had. That and 13th Gate as far as what's in Louisiana.
Right.
Even though House of Shock announces closure in November, and I did this check in July.
Yeah, so if you are running one of these sites and it is, participant-based links, people are giving you links, make sure that they still work every once in a while.
Or try to make sure the information is at least up to date.
Exactly.
It's because I think the houseofshock.com website still works. I don't think that's changed yet.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I was on it earlier today. It still works, but the point of the matter is, make sure the information is up to date. You got to help your visitors out. It also often lacks new haunts that have opened up. It may not indicate that haunts have moved. One listed Chamber of Horrors in Laplace.
Right.
It moved from Laplace 6 years ago? 7?
Something like that, yeah.
It moved to New Orleans?
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it moved over into Jefferson Parish and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically it's because these directories rely very heavily on owner participation or visitor participation. And those are two sources that are not always very trustworthy when it comes to haunted houses, especially when it comes to maintaining the information, keeping it up to date. A haunt may be very, very eager to get into a directory when it launches, but less eager to remove itself when it closes.
Well, yeah, because a lot of times when haunts close, it's for sad reasons, and we just...
Yeah. The cleanup doesn't happen.
Yeah, cleanup doesn't happen online, especially, and you may even forget that you would put yourself on these directories.
Especially if it happened like 5-10 years ago. You might have just totally forgotten.
Yeah.
Or you've had your web marketing dude do what you parted ways with 3 years ago. And
Yeah, we know someone who's actually had to create a whole new site for them because that happened and the old web guy won't give them the password.
Yeah. So it gets a little crazy. So we're going to talk about some of the bigger directories one by one here. I think it's the best way to jump in. The first, and this is in no particular order, by the way. This is just in the order that we pulled them up. Basically, it was the order the tabs were in my browser at the time I started this.
Yeah.
So it's going to be semi-random. The first one is HauntWorld, which is hauntedhousemagazine.com. It's put on predictably by HauntWorld magazine. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to pretend to know who owns HauntWorld, the website now, the Haunted House,
Yeah.
HauntedHouseMagazine.com now.
Mm-hmm.
But it obviously has ties going back to Larry Kirchner, The Darkness, HauntWorld, all that stuff.
Right.
It was part of that stable of stuff.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, it heavily promotes Larry Kirchner's stuff.
Yeah.
Or Larry Kirchner's former stable of stuff. Like I said, I don't know what the operation is now. Hopefully we'll get some answers on that eventually. But
Eventually.
Yeah. But long story short, so, you go there, the number 1 and number 2 haunts as far as the most visited at the most visited ones they have are The Darkness, and I believe, I'm pulling it up now, Creepy World. Mm-hmm. They are literally 1 and 2 sitting there.
Yeah.
And those are both conveniently Larry Kirchner. Larry Kirchner owned properties. Hang on, I'm just double checking that because I want to be 100% right when I say that. Okay, there it is. Yes, I was right. Darkness and Creepy World, followed by Netherworld and Bates Motel. So
yeah,
but yeah, and when you look at the view count, basically only Netherworld runs anywhere close to those two. Mm-hmm. I mean, so it's they are head and shoulders above most of the competition, it would seem to be, and yeah, it's always been that way.
Yeah,
it's like ever since I first ever landed on HauntWorld, first I can ever recall landing on it, It was those two, and that's one of the reasons why I knew when I went to St. Louis I had to visit The Darkness.
Right. Yes, because we looked at the list.
It worked. I admit it. It worked.
Yes. Now we know more about the list.
We know more about how it was compiled and so forth. Yeah, but it heavily promotes at least things from that stable. It also, there's a page on there about it was about trade shows, and it's actually not part of the directory. I realize that now. But it's, once again, HauntWorld Magazine's trade show page.
Right.
And it's just a promotion for TransWorld, pretty much. Doesn't mention HauntCon. Doesn't mention Halloween and HauntFest.
Doesn't mention any of the ones that we go through every week.
Yeah, well, if you listen to this podcast, we do the shtick every week. There's a ton of them.
Yeah.
There's plenty out there. Now, I will say this. It does have a review system, but it appears to be completely user-driven. Mm-hmm. So that does not appear to be impacted by, the connectivity to other haunted attractions.
Right.
But interestingly, and I found this strange, it only lists 3 haunts in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Which there's significantly more than 3 in downtown New Orleans.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
There's a wide margin. One thing I found interesting was it listed only 3 haunts in Louisiana, but it included 2 Texas haunts in the Louisiana page.
Yeah, that's weird.
One of them was in Austin,
which is nowhere near the border,
and the other one was Beaumont, which is close-ish.
Yeah, it's still a couple hours into Texas.
Which, I mean, okay, we have a haunt here in Louisiana. I have not actually been to it. It's the Tree Farm Massacre is the name of it.
Yeah.
And the reason I haven't been is just too damn far away. It's in Leesville. It's basically in the middle of the state, right on the border between Louisiana and Texas.
Yeah.
I could easily see mentioning that in a Texas guy just because it literally is a stone's throw from the border.
Right.
If you are in East Texas, it's very likely that haunt is closer than many Texas haunts, especially like El Paso or something. Because Texas is a big state.
Yeah.
They're quick to remind you that if you talk to them about it. They're very quick to remind you.
Yes, they are.
Big state. So yeah, it might be closer. That might make sense. And that was one thing we found frustrating, once again, going back to our trip to Belleville, was we would look up Illinois haunts, but we were right there at the very tip of the state, the southwest tip. We had to do separate searches to get suggestions in the neighboring states, including Missouri.
Right. Because we were in Illinois and Missouri, both at various points.
It required multiple searches to do that. We couldn't just find, on most of these, we could not just find haunts that were within a certain radius of us.
Right.
There are some to do that, and we'll get there in a second. But yeah, I don't really know. This site does not seem to have gotten any real tender loving care in a very long time.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, but listings are free with account registration, but there is definitely a pay promotion system in effect. You can absolutely pay and get higher ranking on this site. So, take that as what it is. And, you know, like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's got to be clear. You know what I mean? Which is which. And with the way they do it, if you go to the Pennsylvania page, they do featured attractions which get banner ads at the top of the page, but they're not actually in the list. You know what I mean?
That's kind of weird.
It's bizarre, but it's a little less egregious than some, which just simply stick you in the list and move you to the top, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is. Okay. The next one is part of the Haunted Attraction Association. It's FindAHaunt at FindAHaunt.com. I've got to say, this one, in terms of the number of attractions available, is the king.
Yeah.
Hands down. You pull up our address and set a radius. You can't do it by state. It's one of the frustrations.
Yeah.
Can't do it by state, but you pull up our address, you put in like 75 or 150 miles or whatever, you will get a ton of haunts. The problem is, it also includes escape room, paranormal attractions, zombie walks, and even like one-day events, you know, like zombie 5Ks and things like that. They include the Audubon Boo at the Zoo, which is not really on, you know.
Yeah, it's Halloween related.
It's nice. It's lovely. It's a ton of fun. Great for the kids, but I don't know if it belongs on that list. And the problem is, you can't really filter the results. You can't just say, look, I don't want your escape rooms. I don't want your, you know what I mean, your zombie walks, your one-day events. I just want good old-fashioned haunted attractions. Go. You can't just do that. There's no way I was able to find to do that.
No.
And the interface is, unfortunately, pretty much unusable. Because when you try to move around the map, you find that the map is cluttered. The search box at the top, and of course, I'll see you've got the site open. All of the website criticism I give in terms of usability, I will state that I am using Mac Safari on the beta of Mojave. So if there's a beta, there may be a beta issue here on some of these, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
But when you go to the search results, or enter your location to refine your results, it's at the very top. Yeah, it looks different on yours than it looks on mine, which is good. But on my browser, it was a black background with black text.
Oh, there was a more options link that you could do haunted.
Well, that was not.
I
actually spent 10 minutes on the site and did not see that. Okay, so you can filter it.
Yes.
Okay.
So that makes it better.
Makes it better, but still, getting around that map is a mess.
Now, doing the filter, it looks like it still does not. It looks like the filter needs a little bit of work. Yeah,
and that's the other thing, is a lot of these attractions are not defined the way I personally would. Like, once again, Boo at the Zoo is defined as a haunted attraction. You know, going back to that. You know, and also there's a lot of dead links in here. I noticed it has House of Carnage in Homa. That has not been open since 2012. And they tried a revival in 2015. It didn't work out. It's sad. But yeah, it hasn't been open since 2012. 6 years now, and it's still sitting there. French Quarter Phantoms, that is not a haunted attraction. That is a tour company.
Yeah.
I know them.
Yeah,
we know people who work for them.
Yeah.
I do not know what Ghost City is, but I'm pretty sure it is not a haunted attraction either. So yeah, it doesn't... Even if you do filter, it's not super useful, at least in our area.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really, really interesting to go through it. But like I said, the map interface is really cluttered and really not very super useful. I'm glad you found that filtering option. That was driving me bananas earlier.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm glad someone saw us. Fresh eyes will do wonders sometimes for these things. Thank you. Does offer paid listings, and the paid listings are just simply moved to the top of the order in the search.
Gotcha.
In fact, it says right here, would you like your listing to be above here? Visit featured listing page and find out how. So if you want to move to the top of the stack, you can regardless of proximity or, what, or the relative, or how relative it is to the search, you can,
Yeah, I did notice that it had, some things that were further away but were higher up in the list.
Yeah, it's not it's very confusing in that regard. I really don't understand how these are ordered in general.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, they do have a lot of haunts here. If they, had a more usable interface, probably a pretty good start at least. And they cleaned up some of the obviously wrong information in here.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a good start at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one to discuss is HauntFind at HauntFind.com. I have no ownership information on this one. They list 6 haunts in Louisiana. They do not include House of Shock, whether that's an omission because they did not know House of Shock existed,
right,
or because they knew that they had closed and had removed it. Don't know. But anyways, it's free to add sites on this one. They do offer premium listings, but they don't really make it clear how. It's kind of curious because, you go down and you add your site, and I've seen some of the listings. I guess you have to add your haunt first, and then they'll tell you how to do it. I did not do that yet. But yeah, the site looks defunct in terms of like the way it appears.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to describe. It does not look like a lot of has changed in the site in a very, very long time. And there are broken banner images on some of the pages. If you go to like the Pennsylvania, because I've been using Pennsylvania and Ohio, because I know there's a ton of haunts there. You know what I mean? I think it must have been Pennsylvania, but maybe it was Georgia. Yeah, it was Georgia. Sorry. Go to Georgia. There's broken banner links on a few of them, things like that. Long story short, the information's not terrible, but I
kind of like the way that this is laid out, actually.
Yeah, it's... Once again, it seems like the site suffers more from neglect.
Yeah.
It's how it feels, at least, than it does from any malintent or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
They seem to be trying. They do, like I said, offer premium listings, so it's unclear how. You get banner images, or you get large images. You get moved to the top, and you get pretty images with it. Still, the listings are far, far, far from complete, and I'll give them the credit, though. They do clearly mark which are the premium listings and which are the advertising, where some don't.
Yeah.
At least don't make it as clear.
Right.
Okay, this shifts the focus to HauntedHouse.com. You got something else on HauntFind you're still looking at? Okay. HauntedHouse.com. This one is owned by the 13th floor. And if there's one thing we've learned already, is that when a haunted attraction or a group of haunted attractions owns a directory of haunted houses, there's at least a danger for a conflict of interest.
Yes.
That seems to be the case, and unfortunately, this one seems to be no different. They have a page, americasbesthaunts.com, where they have their top 10 haunts in the country. 3 of the 10 listings are 13th floor properties.
Yeah.
And to be clear about that, like one of the listings is simply 13th floor, and it lists all 6 attractions with that name.
Right.
So you get like 13th floor, and then you get 6 attractions under that name. And the result of that is, I think it's a total of 9 of their attractions are in that list somewhere.
Yeah.
But the interesting coinkydink is that the 7 others all appear to be premium listings on HauntedHouse.com.
Wow. Isn't that interesting?
It is.
I wonder how they got there.
Yeah, I mean, now, I know they make no claim to neutrality, but yeah, basically it seems like to be considered for that list, you have to first be a premium subscriber. And, when you're saying that these are the best haunted houses in the country, I know there is absolutely no good way to compile that list.
Right.
But I don't think gatekeeping by saying you have to pay a premium listing is particularly useful either.
Yeah, no, I think it's dishonest to customers.
Yeah.
Because you're just saying, okay, well, this one's obviously got more money, so that means they're better.
Yeah, but we've seen this in haunt lists before. We've seen this all over the place where basically these positions are either earned by the haunts that paid the most to be there, were able to rally the largest audience to vote for them.
Right.
Somewhere there are really good haunts with really passionate users that just don't have the money or the size to get on these lists, to get the attention.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really unfortunate. I also don't like how the site uses spammy internal links. And this one's really weird. You have to kind of understand a little bit about SEO and so forth. But if you go to like the Louisiana page, there's a good example of it. And you read the body copy in it, because they have the listings. There's 5 listings. And then you go down below, and it says, like, Louisiana has the best reviewed haunted houses. Which, I mean, this is really garbage text anyways, to be honest. Louisiana haunted houses are scattered throughout the state, including New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Monroe. But, like, Louisiana haunted houses is a link back to that page. They made it a pretty pointless link. And then when you get to, they call some by name. They call the mortuary haunted house, the 13th Gate. They link it. They have the text linked, but it's linked to their page of the listing, not to the actual site. And in fact, they do everything they can to avoid linking to the website with the name. They say visit site. You can go to the site by clicking the visit site button.
Right.
But you cannot
just click on the name.
But if you say more about House of Shock, it takes you to their page about the House of Shock.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's,
That's interesting, isn't it?
That is interesting.
Yeah. From an SEO standpoint, this is actively hurting the haunted attractions they're listing.
Yeah.
It truly is. Mm-hmm. Because they are trying to get ranked for the names of the haunts they're listing.
Right.
I mean, there's just no justifying that. Mm-mm. And like I said, I'm very sure this is not a major part of what 13th Floor does, a major part of their business. And you know, we have come out in defense of 13th Floor other times. But, yeah, this is not good. Mm-mm. This is flatly not good.
No.
Like every time they mention, at least I think it's every time. They mention the name of a haunted house in Louisiana. They link the text and link it to their own page.
Oh, wow.
Over and over and over again in this text.
And some of their own links don't work.
Yeah. I'm not surprised to hear it. Yeah, another site that seems to, it does, seems to suffer from lack of TLC. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, it's crazy. And it gets a little bit worse because, if you want to get listed on there, this is the site that you famously have to include a banner ad to on your homepage.
Right.
They won't just list you to have a complete list.
Yeah. They
demand that you link to them, and that creates another search engine spam issue.
Yeah.
Basically, they're asking you to send them, search engine juice via this link, this banner ad, and this text.
Right. You're
linking to them. And then, on their site, they're doing everything they can to avoid giving any of that juice back.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems a bit dodgy, a bit questionable. Go ahead.
From an SEO standpoint, this is horrible.
Yeah. If the site itself, and I'm not saying that they are, but if they are marked as a spam site, would including a link to them on your site also hurt you?
It could, yes. If Google considers them spam, yes.
Okay.
I do not know if Google does. That is between Google and them.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they do, but I'm just saying that for known spam sites, it can also hurt you that way.
Yeah, linking. I'm trying to see. Okay, they do not seem to no-follow those links, so that's also bad. Uh-huh. yeah, it's one of those things where they really seem to be doing everything they can to get search engine pull, and they're not doing anything to give it back. And that I find that very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's yeah. God,
this is the one with the premium listings, right?
Yes, this is one of the ones. Several of them have premium listings.
Yeah.
And they actually do promise, interestingly enough, that premium listings get quote-unquote top ranking.
Yeah.
That's their words, not mine. And there's a tier system for how much this costs. And basically what they do is they put states in the category. So you have a state like Wyoming, where there's almost no haunts.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than, like, say, Pennsylvania or Ohio, where there's tons, or California, or whatever. And it can range between 225 to 800. You'll be happy to know that Louisiana, despite having a relatively small population, is a tier 2. So we are in that second category. We're expensive, but I guess they think highly of our haunted attraction situation.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to spend on something that isn't going to send you people.
And
they may send you customers in person, but not to your site. Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, I'm really at a loss for this, because when I first heard about their requirements for sending a band, that's what actually got me started on this. Was like I said, a thread on our haunted attractions, and someone said, "Hey, I've never been able to get listed on HauntedHouse.com. What's going on?" And someone said, "Oh, did you do the link back requirement that they have?" And they were like, "Yeah, I did it." And basically, it still never appeared. I had to remove the banner ad, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is just really, really spammy stuff on this site. And I don't know, it makes me very uncomfortable looking through it, thinking that this represents our industry to at least a significant percentage of customers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It worries me a little bit. All right, let's move on to happier stuff, at least. Well, sort of. HauntedHouses.com. That's right, the one with the S.
Yes.
HauntedHouses.com. No ownership information available on the site. In fact, if you click any of the relevant pages, you get taken to a site upgrade underway error.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yes, very helpful.
Very useful.
They have a very small catalog of haunts. In fact, there were 0 in Louisiana. I happen to know for a fact there are more than 0 haunts in Louisiana.
Yes.
So, I can say that with a great deal of certainty. They do offer premium links, but there's no information because of the aforementioned error, so I can't really tell you much about that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this one seems like the site is largely not working, honestly.
Yeah, the copyright on it is 2004 to 2018, so they've at least updated their copyright notice.
Or at least they took steps to make sure it would automatically update.
Yeah.
And they do have but I did notice when you go to their blog, they do have the announcement from the 13th floor about their buyout of the House of Shot from back in March.
Yeah.
Which I guess would have been the actual formal date that the House of Shock buyout was public, even though...
Right, but the post before that is from 2015.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what to make of it.
It looks like... I don't know, maybe it's under new management. Maybe we'll see something new in 2018.
Here's hoping. Mm-hmm. Alright, after that is the Scare Factor, which is operated by the Scare Factor Review Group. Mm-hmm. Which is a pretty interesting idea. Every one of these so far has been either operated by a haunted attraction or haunted attraction umbrella company.
Right.
Or it has been operated by some kind of independent webmaster, seemingly just trying to kickstart this. But this one is operated by an actual review group. And yes, we did the whole thing about haunted attraction reviews in a previous episode.
Yes.
I meant to look up the number before I got in here. But basically, the Scare Factor Review Group has teams all over the country, and they send them out to do reviews, but they also collect information about haunted attractions for the directory. Mm-hmm. Currently, they have 23 listings in Louisiana, which in terms of major professional haunted attractions seems about right.
Yeah.
I saw nothing obvious missing. In fact, they had the Scout Island Scream Park, which was literally just announced.
Yeah.
And the updated info for House of Shock in New Orleans Nightmare House.
Right. And it was episode 33 where we talked about haunt reviews.
We probably should revisit that at some point. It's been almost 2 years. I think we can come back to that one if we want.
Yeah, we've been asked to, actually.
Okay, so we will. Maybe we'll do that next week if we get bored. We can't think of anything better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all in all, that seems pretty good. Now, that being said, they've only done 2 reviews of haunts in Louisiana, and I'm a bit antsy about the fact that they take advertising money from the very people they're reviewing.
Yeah.
That raises serious conflict of interest issues.
Right. That's just like, a haunted house doing one of these and listing themselves as the best in the nation. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying that they've ever let that advertising money, change or alter the review. I don't know if they have or not. I don't even pretend to know. Mm-hmm. But it raises the specter that it could happen.
I will say that so far in our list, the directory listing options has been the most comprehensive.
Yes, I agree.
About how you can list your stuff.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, they have a pretty good process for getting listed.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, my understanding is they also use their teams to help fill it out.
Yeah.
And update information. I know that, like I said, haunt reviews are also kind of a stepped in sore spot. So we're basically jumping into it, just stepping in it with 2 feet now.
Right.
By raising this, and I get that. But the directory itself is actually pretty good, and though I find their map to be super difficult to use because of the color scheme. Mm-hmm. Seriously, not everything has to be horror themed on your haunted attraction website.
No,
you can just have a good, simple, usable map. That is perfectly allowed, guys. You don't have to make it black with all red icons that look very similar to each other.
Yeah, and you don't have to have a separate icon for each type of events.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see the usefulness of that, but at the same time, some of these are really close to their overlapping, and it's hard to see.
Yeah. Especially when you get into areas like I searched around Atlanta.
Yeah.
You get a lot of haunts on top of haunts, and it's really difficult to read.
Yeah. Well, New Orleans looks like they've got 6 haunts on top of each other.
Yeah.
It looks like just one massive.
Yeah, you got to zoom in a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, overall, I'm actually pretty happy with it. I have concerns about, the business model of it, obviously. Mm-hmm. And it coming from a review group, and the fact that they do give such preferential treatment to the ones they reviewed is worrisome. Mm-hmm. Because you really, when you visit the Scare Factory, you have to dig to find the directory a little bit. You've got to go to FindAHaunt, and then it really tries to push you into checking out their reviews. But then you can pretty easily, once you scroll down a little further, it's, there they are. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I'm on mine, and it may be a beta thing on yours, is that at the top it's advertisers. So it's people who paid for their banners to be at the top. And then you get into the Connect with basically to find the things. And then go to the reviews right after it.
Yeah.
In really big, bold letters. So.
But yeah, there definitely is some preferential treatment to the haunts they review. Mm-hmm. I can't say that's not expected.
No.
Can't say that's necessarily wrong. It's just, it's a thing. If your haunt hasn't been reviewed by them, it's not going to do as well on the site.
Right. That's
just truth. But yeah, I mean, it's more usable than a lot of the sites. Even if the map probably could use some tweaks. Especially in densely packed areas.
Right.
But yeah, this honestly, when I went through these sites, this I think ended up being my favorite.
Yeah.
Hands down. It really did. Just because it was the most usable. It was the best combination of usability, ethics, and completeness I could find. Mm-hmm. I might have put FindAHaunt ahead if their map had not been so horrible to use.
Yeah.
And also the questionable practice of the way they do premium listings.
Right.
get rid of those two things. I think FindAHaunt and the Haunted Attractions Association could definitely outdo them.
Right.
But yeah, right now, this is my leader. Mm-hmm. And we have one more to talk about real fast. Well, it's going to be a long episode. And that's Haunted House ratings. I don't have a lot to say about this one. There's no ownership information. There's only 5 haunts in Louisiana, one of which closed in 2012. Is the Homo one I mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. And another one may or may not ever open. Apparently, they're talking about trying to open something in the Shreveport area, I think it was.
Yeah.
They don't have a place.
Yeah.
They do have a rating system that seems to be done by visitors. Most of the reviews seem to be very, very positive there. They do offer free listings with a premium auction, but it is unclear what that includes. They also have a top 31 list, but that appears to be done entirely by vote. So this is an attempt to get haunts to send traffic to them to vote for their favorite haunt. Vote for them. So yeah, and also with that, they have not done the 2017 season yet. What they do is they announce the results of the previous season right before the new season starts. So they'll announce the results of 2017 sometime probably in September.
Okay.
It makes a degree of sense.
It does.
So yeah, why isn't there a perfect answer? Well, the reason is because there's no good business model for this type of site. I mean, if you want to maintain perfect ethics and perfect clarity, you can't sell ads.
Right.
You can't offer a subscription service. There's no real good way to make money off of it. Mm-hmm. Traffic is low for most of the year. I mean, think about it. 2 months out of the year, you're going to get all your traffic. The rest of the year, no one cares about you, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's going to be high maintenance. You're going to be maintaining records for thousands of haunts, probably.
Yeah.
Or at least over 1,000 haunts. We'll say, even if it's just, hundreds of haunts, it's still a lot as these haunts move, close, open, change descriptions, update themes, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of work. What's up? You got a quizzical look.
Nope. There's a haunted house apparently in Kenner that I didn't know about. So I'm going to have to check it out later.
It does not exist.
Oh, okay.
That's another one. That's another family. It doesn't exist. Yeah, I looked at that too. I had the exact same thought while researching this.
Oh, wait a minute.
Nope. Back up. Sorry.
Thought I knew those.
Furthermore, it's nearly impossible to create a complete list from a central location.
Right.
The owners are not going to be very cooperative. They might be quick to get into the database. Many of them won't be. Many won't think to. The tech savviness of haunted attraction owners ranges wildly. Mm-hmm. We've seen some who I'm surprised figured out how to turn on a computer. And we've seen some who do Matrix shit inside their haunt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, not everyone's going to be up to the task of adding their site in.
Right.
And it's impossible for you or any one person or even a group of people to visit every haunt in the country every year. Groups like the Scare Factor do the best they can, but even they've only got reviews for 2 Louisiana attractions. Right. Even though they have 23 listed. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't count ours, though, like I said, home haunt, so we're not super interested in making an appearance.
They do
have a home haunt category.
Yes.
We may add it.
Yeah.
No trade group or organization has everyone. So even like the Haunted Attraction Association, they have a good number of haunts. Right. They don't got everyone.
No.
And this is an industry with a large amount of churn in it. Haunts open, close, change themes, change names. There's not as much stability here as there are in other industries.
Right.
So what can we do to fix it? Well, my first thought is, can we consider scaling this down? Every single one of these is an ambitious effort to list every haunted house in the country.
Yeah.
And that may be not possible.
Yeah.
At all. So maybe small, local, and regional directories can do better.
Right.
I could easily see, and I know we had some that were trying, Ohio Valley Haunts, which of course stepped into it with the LGBT stuff and the horrible things they said there.
Yeah.
But you had groups that were trying to list and do, in their case, review.
Yeah, there's I'm gonna have to look it up. Sorry.
But the idea is that either in metropolitan areas or even statewide, you might be able to compile a very, very complete list, and then share that list out much easier than you can do it for the entire country.
Yeah.
And that would be, I think, more useful to people in the region. Like if we had been able to go to the St. Louis area and look at the St. Louis Haunted Attraction Network or whatever and pull down every haunt in like a 50-mile radius of St. Louis.
Right.
That'd been pretty cool.
Yeah. And that could even be like a Facebook group because we're in groups that are local to our little neighborhood in New Orleans. Yeah. And that could work pretty well.
As long as it's a public group that consumers can access,
and that you can find easily.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was thinking of Haunted Illinois, I believe.
Oh, yes, good.
We've
good
actually
example.
talked to him.
Yes. Haunted Illinois is a good example. But I think that one of the problems with these sites is they all are trying to be national. Right. And that may just be too big of a task. Yeah. Especially on the budget and the business model of these sites. Yeah. So, I don't know. It may just not be the way to do it. What were you about to say?
I can just see a tree working where someone, does their individual areas and then, you scale up to a national
and someone else does a combination of them. Pulls them together.
Eventually.
Okay.
But that's all.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. The next idea is to partner with large organizations. FindAHaunt has the Haunted Attraction Association. Mm-hmm. And I was wrong. We're not speaking about the Haunted Attraction Network. Sorry. My bad. Been a long day. But these organizations typically do have a large directory, and it's not necessarily just their member directory. They probably do maintain, collect, and keep up with haunted attractions who aren't members, so they might be able to do it. Mm-hmm. The trick is, if they're going to form a directory, they have to remain neutral. Right. And that's going to be a really big struggle when your stated goal is to promote your members. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to make it a little hard, guys, just saying. Yeah. So you got to think that one through. It's going to be a little tough. And then also, like we talked about just a minute ago, piecing together things by region. Try to do what Scare Factor's doing. Try to do what you were talking about, where you get the various regional organizations. Right. Scare Factor has 23 teams working nationally.
Yeah, and that's a good way to do it is have teams in different states that can help with that. Yeah.
All in all, I just don't see an easy way to make a national haunted attraction website directory work. No. But it's something that we do need at the end of the day. We need something, even if it's a network of websites for smaller ones. Right. We need something to make it easy to find haunts in an unfamiliar area.
Yes, I need to be able to say, I want to go here next October. What's there? Is it worth my time to go there?
Yeah, like we're doing Chicago this year.
That's because we know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, we're lucky this year. But next year, what are we going to do? Maybe we'll do Dallas. We've mentioned Dallas a few times.
We've mentioned Texas a couple of times.
Dallas and Houston.
I think we could make several years to Texas and never see all the haunts there.
Absolutely. We've mentioned also doing Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. I have a couple must-sees up that way. Detroit has come up a few times in our conversations. Right. We've got all these cities we want to go to. A really good directory would help us make those decisions. Yeah. And I know we're kind of an edge case, but you also got to think about the mother or the teenager or whatever who's never been to a haunted house before locally. No. How do they know where to go?
And how do they know which one's right for them to start with?
Yeah. Exactly. Promotional material only tells you so much at the end of the day. Exactly. We need more useful directories, more so than most industries, I think. Mm-hmm. We a lot of places, I don't think restaurants have a super high need for national directories of restaurants. No. But haunted attractions, I think, do. Just for all the reasons we stated at the beginning. Yeah. Well, I think that's all I have. It's been a long one, I know. It's probably going to go barely over an hour, so there you have it. But anyways, once again, this has been Haunt Weekly at HauntWeekly.com. You can follow us at Twitter and Facebook at Haunt Weekly. You can also check out tinyurl.com/HauntWeekly to go to our YouTube channel, where we have all of our past episodes up for easy streaming access there. We're also on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever finer podcasts are sold. They just haven't kicked us out yet. Until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this was Haunt Weekly, episode 137, talking about haunt directories. We will see you guys next time.